Hi, I'm Shannon Cyr, and I am the relationship coach for men. So, oftentimes in our marriages, we get to a point where we feel confused and unhappy, really just uncertain, really struggling, and we're not sure what comes next or what to do. We wonder if there's really even anything we can do to make it feel better, or is it just going to stay this way forever? And this is exactly the place where my client Ben has been for a long time. He keeps wondering, how did we get here and what went so wrong? He felt like they had a really good marriage and that it started out so solid and so happy. He assumed that it would stay this way, and he feels like he's been working hard to give his family everything he can. He's been providing and planning for the future, but they're not happy. And his wife says that they just don't connect anymore and she feels alone. So in our lives, we set out to accomplish goals, like marriage, for instance. We grow up and we plan ahead for the future, imagining what it's going to be like. And in that picture, we see a marriage. So we set out to find our partner and we get married. And we think that this marriage is going to always be strong and supportive, and that love will guide us, and that love's going to be enough to keep it going. Except it doesn't. So to explain this, I want to tell you about this idea that we call the shelf. So just like Ben was experiencing, he'd set out to start his life and get married, and he did. And then once he did that, he took his marriage and he placed it in this nice box and wrapped it up all nice and shiny, and he placed it up on the shelf, right? And he put it on that shelf where it would be safe, thinking that it would take care of itself now that it was in place and that he was happy. And he thought, okay, this is safe here. And he started to focus on his career. He started to really build his future, growing the business, getting ahead, acquiring more resources for his family to give them safety and security. He put a lot of energy and attention and focus on this, and it really worked. It worked really well, and in fact, it continues to work really well. So he feels that he's giving all he can to his marriage and to his family and creating a better future. And the thing is that while he's been busy doing this for the last 15 years now, he hasn't been paying much attention to that pretty little box that he put up there on that shelf. He still loves it and feels like he's doing all the hard work that he's doing for that marriage sitting there on that shelf. But the marriage is not really receiving any attention or energy. And time passes and he thinks it'll be okay, but this isn't true, and it really isn't enough. There's really not anything on the planet that thrives and flourishes with no attention. All things need some degree of care and effort and, attention, even if it's the grass, right? So without some water and some light, it's not going to grow and stay healthy. So it's the same really with our marriage too. It really should come as no surprise that our marriage is the same. Yet it does. And when it happens, we wonder how we got here. And, even after years or decades of little to no attention and effort, our marriages begin to struggle, but we find ourselves surprised that it could happen to us. So now maybe you're thinking that this could be you. Maybe you did put that marriage up on the shelf a little bit. Maybe you both did. Maybe you're wondering if there's anything you can do now to make it feel good again. And so depending on how long it's been on that shelf, you may be able to, take it down and dust it off, shine it up a little and give it some attention. But if it's been up there for 10, 15, 20 years, it's going to take more than just a little dusting and polishing to see if it can feel good again. It's going to take a new approach, some new tools, some communicating, and some effort. You have to really start pouring back into it and giving it the attention that it needs to thrive and to flourish. So to find out how you can do this, I invite you to schedule a complimentary exploratory session with me below. Let's get that marriage back down off the shelf and see if you can make it feel better. All my best.